Thanks everyone for the opportunity to present our research. I'm happy to see familiar faces. It's like playing a home game, but without the cheerleaders.
Can everybody see okay? Should we dim the lights maybe?
We're gonna lay out something super simple, so whatever the light is doing, you're gonna leave with a clear idea about our presentation. So we're gonna start you off by looking at this graph.
Sorry about the graph, it's really very noisy.
Why is she apologizing?
I don't know.
Sure, there's a lot going on, but we're gonna focus your attention very specifically.
Of course, many of you know the principles of endocytosis better than I do, but what we're investigating is whether those principles maybe hold water quantitatively.
Which is the subject of our talk.
Okay, and it's our hypothesis that driven by a burst of WASP, assembly and disassembly of the reactions follow the mass action kinetic rates measured before in vitro.
Wait. Why are there no spatial details?
So I'm sorry if this is a bit confusing, but since we do not know the exact localization of molecules versus time, we did not include any spatial details.
What she means is, in the absence of knowing the exact positions, we need to limit speculation.
And there's more data, but we figured your time is very short today, so we didn't want to take up too much time. But you'll see in the following graphs, it'll show more of the basis of our argument.
We like our reactions to be well mixed.
And mine are. Look, your format would have been better favored by a little more comprehension.
And our comprehension is only as good as the response of our audience, so we take your immediate questions as a very good sign.
Okay, that's enough. Ki-yun, I could follow you. I could follow what you're saying, even though I admit the lack of spatial details bothers me. But Chen, I was very confused.
This is their first practice talk, John.
That's my point. This may very well fly here, but if you two want to present at ASCB and you're representing the department?
Do we have time to see this again?
Let's see this again in 2 weeks.
Okay, very good. Why don't you think over what we've said today, and we'll see you both again in 2 weeks.
And Chen, remember, confidence matters.
But I was
Thank you. Appreciate it.
As you can see, this disassembly is very slow. Therefore, our existing knowledge is not sufficient to explain the data, so we've had to make some extra assumptions about what's actually happening.
What extra assumptions?
That's a great question. Severing by ADF cofilin not only creates pointed ends, but also releases fragments and chunks of the actin network into the cytoplasm. As you can see, cofilin is indeed crucial for fast patch disassembly. EM shows short filaments and a small number of ends pushing the vesicle. Makes sense? If it doesn't, it's just a good opportunity for me to clarify my descriptions.
What is this graph?
It's quite simple. These symbols are of experimental data, the lines are of our simulations, in close agreement with the data. Also, the predictions made by our model were investigated further by my colleagues at the lab, and they've all been supported. So even if, as Ki-yun would say, your reactions to the data were mixed, they now have a sound basis in many experiments and data.
So everything's been answered then. I guess you really don't need us at all then, do you?
Okay, let's thank Chen for that. I don't think we have time for any more questions.
Thank you both.
John, do you have a minute? How do you think that went?
Wait. How do you think it went?
Great, huh?
Oh, it was terrible.
You want me to be honest? You were a little aggressive.
Is that what John said? What did he say?
I don't know, just that if we're gonna be presenting, maybe I better take the lead.
I just did what you did.
Oh no, you didn't do what I did. Nobody gets uncomfortable when I speak. But John did say you sounded competent at least.
So all this time I sounded incompetent? Last time they said I wasn't confident enough, and this time I was confident, but it was aggressive?
Kind of.
What am I supposed to do? What do you do?